Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
The thing that happened is Tupac's family is reportedly deciding to investigate the rumors that Diddy was involved in Tupac's.
Oh my God. You will not believe this bombshell about Diddy. His carefully crafted empire is crumbling as we speak. And the most shocking part, his own secret adopted daughter might bring him down. A woman who grew up hidden under his roof is reportedly ready to spill the tea. Everything we thought we knew about Diddy, about to be turned upside down.
Just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
But hold on, wait. Diddy had an adopted daughter? That's right. Unlike his other kids flaunting their luxurious lives, this young woman was kept completely hidden. Insiders say she was deliberately erased from public knowledge. Her name? Nina Monroe. She's reportedly reinvented herself completely, changing her appearance, cutting ties, doing everything to avoid being recognized. Now Nina is reportedly ready to speak her truth. Her testimony could expose secrets that Diddy has spent decades and millions trying to bury.
The whole lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
How did Nina end up in this web? According to insiders, there was nothing normal about this adoption. No court filings, no announcements. She just appeared. Some say she was taken in as a favor to someone in Diddy's inner circle, while others hint her origins might be tied to one of his complicated relationships. The only certainty? Nina was kept far from the spotlight, raised in complete secrecy within Diddy's controlled world.
The investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
Imagine growing up in mansions with every luxury, but knowing your every move was being watched. According to former staff, Nina lived under suffocating rules. No normal schools, no outside friends, isolated from the real world. Despite all that wealth, her childhood was anything but carefree. Now, she reportedly has shocking details about what happened behind closed doors. Details that align perfectly with the accusations against Diddy. If what we're hearing is true, Nina witnessed things that would make your skin crawl. Some sources claim she saw disturbing power dynamics now under scrutiny. Others hint she may have experienced mistreatment herself, though she's keeping those details private. For now.
Judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
The timing? Beyond suspicious. Nina's decision to testify comes just as lawsuits and criminal charges hit Diddy like a tsunami, painting a picture of a man whose power was used for sinister purposes. Prosecutors are building a case with dozens of witnesses ready to share stories of manipulation, coercion, and worse. And with Nina potentially stepping forward, this could change everything. Her testimony wouldn't just be from someone who knew Diddy casually, but from someone who lived under his roof with insights no one else could provide.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
But wait, there's more. Rumors are swirling about other Diddy children who might also be dragged into this courtroom drama. While his public kids have stood by their father, insiders hint there could be other offspring who've kept their distance for reasons that might soon become painfully clear. Could they have their own stories? Might they back up Nina's claims? The stakes couldn't be higher.
And that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on.
The floodgates are about to burst open. Dozens of new witnesses are preparing to come forward. Industry insiders, women who knew him intimately. The sheer number suggests a much bigger, darker story. What's truly chilling is the alleged connection between these claims and Diddy's hidden children. Some theories suggest they were kept out of the spotlight not to protect them, but to protect Diddy. Were they witnesses to reputation-destroying events? Were their mothers silenced or paid off? The answers could be absolutely devastating.
The latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
This isn't just about one man's alleged actions. It's about an entire system that let him operate unchecked for decades. Nina's potential testimony could expose a network of enablers who turned blind eyes to questionable behavior for money, power, or access. Her words could bring this house of cards crashing down. Diddy's legal team is working overtime to discredit these claims as financially motivated, portraying him as a loving father targeted by opportunists. But with the mountain of accusations, and Nina, someone with nothing to gain and everything to lose, reportedly stepping forward, these claims carry serious weight.
It's very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in the jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
The anticipation around Nina's testimony is electric. Will she share bombshells that back up other witnesses? Will she reveal new information that sends this case spiraling in unexpected directions? Most importantly, will her courage inspire others to come forward? Perhaps even some of Diddy's other children with their own secrets. The answers won't just reshape this trial. They could completely obliterate the legacy of a man whose name was once synonymous with success.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
As walls close in on Diddy, his past is being scrutinized like never before. These revelations spotlight the culture of silence that surrounded him for decades. If Nina's story connects to these broader claims, it could mark the end for a man who once seemed untouchable. This brings us to another layer, Diddy's troubling patterns throughout his career. From whispers of control to mysterious circumstances surrounding those who've fallen from his orbit, the shadows grow darker by the day. As more people step forward, one question remains. How deep does this go?
Also, strategic reasons for the prosecutors to want him to have co-defendants, because right now he hasn't waived his right to a speedy trial, which would force prosecutors to take him to trial pretty quick, which they actually might not be ready to do. But if they supersede him and have co-defendants with him, it makes it a lot easier to pursue a trial continuance without him waiving his speedy trial right.
Hold on to your seats. This story gets even more intense. The revelations so far are just the tip of this scandalous iceberg. Rewind to Diddy's early years. It looked like the ultimate success story, hip-hop's golden boy building an empire. But behind that facade, whispers that his rise wasn't nearly as clean-cut. From the beginning, there were claims of intimidation and power plays that went far beyond the music business.
But so there's still, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about prior to.
Former colleagues describe a man as ruthless as he was charismatic, making you feel special, only to discard you when no longer useful. Cross him? Some associates have stories that will make your blood run cold. One employee claimed Diddy would make people disappear professionally. If you were against him, your career was over. But it wasn't just careers vanishing. Those closest to Diddy often found themselves in bizarre, tragic circumstances. Take Kim Porter, mother of 3 of his children. When she died in 2018, conspiracy theories immediately swirled. I'll be sure her ex and Quincy's father has loudly questioned what happened, claiming Kim confided troubling things before her death. There's more to this story, he's insisted. It's hard not to wonder if he's right.
Sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't looking into the video, so it's to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
Kim wasn't just another ex, she was central to Diddy's life for over a decade. Friends describe her as strong and protective, but hint at a relationship far from perfect. Her former lawyer revealed Kim described Diddy as controlling and claimed he hired private investigators to follow her. He was jealous and obsessed with her. And during one breakup, Kim allegedly lived in a rat-infested apartment paid for by Diddy, quite the contrast to their usual luxury. How far would he go to maintain control?
That fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, you know, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the...
Then there's those freak-offs Kim reportedly wanted nothing to do with. Her lawyer said Kim was too private and too classy for the activities Diddy now stands accused of orchestrating. Prosecutors describe a world where power was used to manipulate people into doing things they never would have agreed to otherwise. Could Kim's knowledge have put her in danger? That question haunts those who knew her.
Like, it was the same thing Kim was going through. The same thing, bruh. Kim was going through the same thing. The beatings, you know what I'm saying?
Remember the 1999 nightclub shooting that led to Diddy's arrest alongside Jennifer Lopez? Though acquitted, witnesses claimed he offered them money to take the blame. The pattern is clear. Wherever Diddy went, trouble followed. Now, with today's charges, all those whispers seem to be catching up to him. The allegations are serious, painting a picture of decades of power abuse. Prosecutors accuse him of running an operation that exploited countless people, from coerced participation in private gatherings to blackmail. These allegations span years, suggesting a pattern, not isolated incidents. Dozens of witnesses are reportedly ready to testify who've been terrified to speak for years due to his influence. If even half is true, it could end Diddy's career and freedom.
He get trafficking because he took her to different states and had her perform acts with different, you know, male and different people, sometimes against her will.
Here's the darkest turn. People closest to Diddy are now implicated in covering up his alleged actions. Prosecutors suggest he had enablers who helped maintain his power and silence critics. We're talking high-level associates who allegedly knew exactly what was happening and looked the other way. Power protecting power.
There's every man possibly is capable. I think he's very capable of doing it. It's in his character. That's who he is. That's what comes with power. That's what comes with arrogance. That's what comes with, you know, what makes him, you know, power. That's just the selfishness to make you be like that.
Of course, Diddy's legal team is fighting back hard, dismissing allegations as attacks on a successful icon. But the evidence is becoming impossible to ignore, pointing to a culture of exploitation that flourished for far too long. The staggering amount Diddy reportedly spent keeping people quiet, millions in settlements and hush money, speaks volumes about his power. But money only buys silence temporarily.
We put their hands on women really is people who have, men who have feminine traits. So, you know, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, you know, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, there's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man.
So where are we now? With each revelation, we inch closer to truth, but questions remain. What really happened to Kim Porter? How many people helped keep Diddy's alleged actions secret? How will this end? Will Diddy finally face consequences, or will his team somehow spin the narrative again? The world is watching. With more people stepping forward daily, it's only a matter of time before all puzzle pieces fit. The question is, will Diddy's empire survive, or are we witnessing the fall of one of entertainment's most powerful figures? Share your thoughts below and stay tuned for more updates on this absolutely riveting story.